Yes, children, next is political and administrative divisions. India is officially known as the Republic of India and is a vast country. Yes, first itself we read that India is a country of large area, isn't it? Yes, and it is not officially, it is known as Republic of India because we got independence, so it is known as Republic of India. For administrative purposes, means to rule the country, for administration or for administrative purpose, to perform the duties by the government. The country is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories. 28 states. So India is divided into how many states? First itself we learned about when Mihika and Radhika, when they were talking about the states, isn't it? Yes, so India is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories. And Telangana became the 28th state of India on 2nd June 2014. Yes, before, since 2014 there was no state called Telangana. Afterwards, a new state formed, that is Telangana on 2nd June 2014. Before it was Andhra Pradesh. Together it was, now again that Andhra Pradesh got split and new state came into being. It is Telangana on 2nd June 2014. So India is officially known as Republic of India, and for it's a vast country, or we can say it is India is a country of large area, we say. For administrative purpose, to divide, India is divided into different states. So India is divided in 28 states and 8 union territories, we say. Next, India is a second most populated country in the world. The second populated country in India has too much of population, and also the world's largest democracy. What is democracy, you know? Democracy means government rule is according to the will of the people. We say democracy is of the people, by the people and for the people. So democracy is itself, we say already India as officially Republic of India. So the ruling or governing, the way of governing, it depends on the will of the people, according to the wish of the people. Or democracy is for the people, by the people and of the people, we say. That is called democracy. So in the world, second populated country is India, which have large number of population, and we say it is the world's largest democracy. Another country we don't have this democratic rule, so that's why in world largest democracy is India. The country's coastline measures, so coastline area measures 7,517 kilometers in length. Among this, out of which 5,423 kilometers belong to peninsula. Peninsula means land mass surrounded by water on 3 sides. Already we know India is surrounded by water on or seas on 3 sides. So that is peninsular, we say. Peninsular or coastline area is about totally 7517 or 7,517 kilometers, and on which distance of 5,423 kilometers belong to peninsula. It's a land surrounded by water. Then 2,094 kilometers belongs to Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Island. Additionally, the Indian Naval Hydrographic Chart, you know, it consists of oceans, rivers, lakes and all, with mainland coastline include 40% sandy beaches, deserts, 46% mud flats, or marshy shore means wet, marshy means wet area, okay, and 11% rocky shores. Then broadly India is divided into 6 major zones: East India, West India, North India, South India, Northeast and Central India. So India is divided into 6 major zones, major divisions of India, we say. Already in map we saw the directions: north, south, east, west. Again we can divide it into East India. East India, the states which lies to the eastern part of India, East India, and the states which lies here in the western parts of India is West India. North India, the places in the North India we say, and South India, the places here, in the south called South India. Then we can say Northeast India and Central India. North East India and Central India we say. Eastern India include the states of Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal. These all states lies to the eastern part of India. Okay, Jharkhand, Odisha here, West Bengal here. These are all the eastern parts of India. This state lies in eastern parts of India, and a union territory. These are territories, union territories, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The total population of these states is 22 crores 69 lakhs 25,195. This is the total population. This many people are there in which part of India? In the eastern part of India, along with the island Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep. No, only Andaman and Nicobar Union Territory. In the eastern part, we are saying about eastern, right? So Andaman, Nicobar and eastern states of India together we have this population. Then the eastern zone covers a total area, means the area of the eastern zone. Area is given as square kilometer. We always say area in kilometers square, isn't it? Or square meter we say. So total area of this eastern zone, this eastern part is given there. 4,18,323 square kilometer. Bengali is the dominant language in the state of West Bengal. In West Bengal, which is the main language speaking there by the people, it is Bengali. And whereas Odia and Hindi are the main language or principal language in states of Odisha and Jharkhand. So Odisha and Jharkhand, there people speak Odia and Hindi. English, Maithili, Nepali and Urdu are other languages spoken in eastern India. So first we learned about eastern India, isn't it? The states in eastern India, they are Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal and one union territory, that is Andaman and Nicobar Island. Now, these are the states and union territory in the eastern part of India, and the language speaks in this state. West Bengal, it is Bengali, and Odia and Hindi in Odisha and Jharkhand, and other languages are also spoken in eastern India, English, Maithili, Nepali and Urdu. That's about eastern states of India, this part, eastern states of India. Children, so we learned about eastern states, eastern India. Okay, eastern India includes the states of Bihar, isn't it? Yes, Bihar, then Jharkhand, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. So these are the eastern states of India, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal. We learned about these eastern states along with the union territory Andaman and Nicobar. Yes, and the language also we learned. What all language the people here in eastern part of India they speak. Total area and population and all. Now we will learn about the western region. Western region of India covers a total area of 5,08,052 square kilometer. Some of the popular states of West India, the main states we can say is Gujarat here. Gujarat we can see here. Then Goa here, Goa. Then Maharashtra here, Maharashtra. And with union territories, Daman and Diu. We can see union territory here, Daman and Diu here, Daman and Diu, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. This is the union territory. The main states are in the western part of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, along with this union territory. Okay. Now let's see the languages over here. The people speaks which language? So Mumbai, the financial capital of India. So the financial capital of India is Mumbai. It is the capital city of Maharashtra. Capital of Maharashtra is Mumbai. Also the financial capital of India. The states of Western India have prosperous economy. means they are so rich in economy, we say, rich in all the things like goods, whatever consumption, production, in the matter of money, they all have rich economy system there with relatively high standard of living. People living in these states, they have high standard of living, like wealth, comfort, all the material goods, everything they have. So all the necessities of the certain areas, all of the things they have very good. So prosperous economy they have, and the people living here are relatively high standard of living. The states of Western India have prosperous economy, healthy growth or successful in all the areas with relatively high standard of living. They have full wealth, comfort, all the necessities of certain classes. Official languages of the states lying in Western India include Marathi, Gujarati, Konkani and English. These are the languages spoken by the people in the western parts of India like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, along with the Union Territory, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu here. Union Territory. Actually the others are states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, they are all states. States are directly ruled by the state government. Union Territory, they are ruled by a union or directly by central government of India. That's why they are called as Union Territory. They are administered by a small union. That's why it is called Union Territory. By directly controlled is by central government of India. Other states have their own state government. Okay, now the states of North India. Yes, which are the states of North India? Let's see. Himachal Pradesh. This is Himachal Pradesh over here. Then Uttar Pradesh here. Uttar Pradesh. Then Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is over here. Uttarakhand here. Then Punjab here. Okay, and Haryana. So these are the main states of North India. Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, then Uttarakhand here. So these are the main states of North India. With union territories of Delhi. Delhi is the national capital territory, we say. And Chandigarh, okay, here. The economy of northern India is growing at fast pace. Fast pace means high speed, we say. The economy of northern India is because they are developing countries. They are developing with a great speed. The most populous cities of North India are New Delhi, Jaipur, Lucknow, Indore, Patna and Chandigarh. These are the main popular cities in these states. Now coming to the southern part of India. Southern India covers states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. You can see Tamil Nadu here, Kerala here, Karnataka here, Andhra Pradesh here, Telangana here. Okay, these are the states of South India, we say, or Southern India covers states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana with the union territories of Lakshadweep and Puducherry or Pondicherry, we say. Over 19.31% of India's total area is occupied by these states and union territories. So over 19.3% of total area is occupied by the states and union territories. Bengaluru, the capital of Karnataka. Capital of Karnataka is Bengaluru. It's known as Silicon Valley of India. Silicon Valley of India is Bangalore or Bengaluru, we say. It is the capital of Karnataka because it is India's leading exporter in IT sector. Leading exporter means the highest rank, the main important sector or leading sector in IT field or IT sector. IT means connected to computer, information technology, connected to all hardware, software, computer, internet, everything. People working in this sector. So Bengaluru, the capital city of Karnataka. So capital of Karnataka is Bengaluru. It is also known as Silicon Valley of India. What is it known as? Silicon Valley of India, or the capital city of India is capital city of Karnataka is Bangalore. It is known as Silicon Valley of India because it is India's leading exporter, means ranking first, the important exporter in IT field or IT sector. IT sector is information technology, we say, related to all computers, hardware, software, internet, everything. Most popular cities of South India include the main cities: Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Coimbatore, Cochin and Mysore. These are the main cities in these southern states of India. So the main point here is the Silicon Valley of India. It is Bangalore, or the capital of Karnataka is Bangalore, we say, or Bangalore, because it is the India's leading exporter in IT sector. Yes children, so far we learned about southern states of India. Now we will go to the northeast part of India. Northeast part of India. Northeast part is somewhere here. Okay, so northeast part of India includes 7 sister states. Northeast part of India includes 7 sister states. So let us see which are these 7 sister states. They are all sisters for each other. Okay, 7 sister states we say. It lies in northeast part of India. Okay, which are these 7 sister states? They are Arunachal Pradesh. This is Arunachal Pradesh here. Then Assam here. Arunachal Pradesh. Then Assam, Meghalaya. Then Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur. Tripura is here, Mizoram is here, Manipur is here. Every states are here only. Okay. These are Nagaland also. Nagaland. Here, Nagaland. Okay. So all the sister states are lies within here itself. That's why they are known as sister states. Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, Mizoram. Here in this part. Okay, so they are known as sister states, 7 sister states of northeast India. The Himalayan state of Sikkim and Jalpaiguri division are the 2 most important parts of northeast India. The main 2 parts of northeast India are the Himalayan state of Sikkim and Jalpaiguri division. There is a great ethnic and religious diversity within the 7 sister states. These are the 7 sister states. Here we can see a great ethnic and religious diversity. Means what? Related to this means large group of people. They are classed or divided according to the common, the national or what we say, tribal or religious, the language they speak, cultural. Different types of cultural people lives the different language speaking people lives the tribal peoples are the with people with different religions are living there. That's why they are known as great ethnic and religious diversity. We can see here in this 7 sister states we say. The central zone of India primarily refers to Madhya Pradesh. Central zone. This is a central zone of India, Madhya Pradesh. The word indicates that Madhya Pradesh, the middle. So the central primarily refers to Madhya Pradesh, central zone of India. Here, Madhya Pradesh. And the newly formed state is Chhattisgarh. Here, we can see Chhattisgarh here, near to Madhya Pradesh. Few years back the state formed Chhattisgarh. So the central zone of India is mainly this Madhya Pradesh along with this Chhattisgarh. That is about northeast India. So northeast India we can see the 7 sister states. Okay, next is the 8 union territories of India and the capitals. We have union territories also. India is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories for administrative purpose. One ruler is not able to rule the whole India, isn't it? That's why it is divided into different states. So, and union territories. Union territories directly, they have controlled by the central government, and the states are controlled by the state government. So there are 8 union territories, or union territories, they are ruled by small union, or we can say controlled, it is on central government. So these 8 union territories of India and the capitals are given here. Let us read that. Andaman and Nicobar Island is one union territory. Here, this is Andaman and Nicobar Island and its capital is Port Blair. Chandigarh, capital is Chandigarh only. Dadra, Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu together. They merged together. Before they were separate. Now they merged together with Daman as capital. Daman and Diu. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, you can see here. They merged together. Before they were separate. Now they merged together. And the capital is common now. It is Daman itself. Then Jammu and Kashmir. Srinagar is summer and Jammu is winter capital. Ladakh, Leh, Kargil is the capital of Ladakh. Lakshadweep Island, Lakshadweep here we saw. Lakshadweep Island, its capital is Kavarati. The national capital territory that we already read, it is New Delhi. Puducherry, another union territories, capital is Pondicherry. So these are the 8 union territories of India with the capitals. Which are they? Andaman and Nicobar Island, capital is Port Blair. Chandigarh, capital is Chandigarh itself. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu merged together and capital is Daman. Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar is the summer capital, Jammu is the winter capital. We say Ladakh, its capital is Leh or Kargil. Lakshadweep, Kavarati. National capital territory is New Delhi. Puducherry is Pondicherry. These are the 8 union territories of India and the capitals. So here children, we learned about our country India. Its geographical location we learned, means in India map, India is of a very large area. We saw what all things are there in India, what the geographical location we learned. Then we learned about its neighbors, physical divisions, rivers and political administrative divisions also, isn't it? Yes. So geographical location means what? Actually, yes, the area covered by India. So India is a country of large area, we know. Then in India map, this is India map, and here northern part is Himalayas. Here is the Himalayas. Actually we can see the tall Himalayas. Then we saw India is a India is a country surrounded by sea on all side or water on all side. Bay of Bengal on west, Bay of Bengal on east, Arabian Sea on the west and Indian Ocean on the south, isn't it? Himalayas we can see on the north part, then Bay of Bengal on the east part, Arabian Sea on the west and Indian Ocean on the south. India is surrounded by sea on all these 3 sides. These are the geographical divisions we say. Then we learned about what? Yes, about the globe. It's a model of earth, I said. And in globe itself we can see the imaginary line passing through the middle of the earth. It is called equator. Upper half is northern hemisphere and the lower half is southern hemisphere. Equator divides it into northern and southern. So India is in the northern hemisphere we say. Then Tropic of Cancer. Actually what is Tropic of Cancer? It is an important latitude actually. Latitude means what? They are these parallel lines parallel to the equator. They are latitudes. To locate a place in a globe or in earth, we need this reference lines or points like equator, latitude and longitude. Okay, latitudes are parallel lines drawn to the equator, or they are the reference points, or we need latitudes to locate the place in earth or in a globe. They are latitudes, they are parallels we say. Then the parallels towards the north of the equator is called north latitudes. Towards the south of the equator is called south latitudes. So they measures in degrees and along north and south. So the latitudes are marked as 8 degree 4 north and 37 degree 6 north from south to north. Like longitude also. Longitudes are here. They are not parallels. They meet at poles. All the lines they come and meet at the poles. And the middle line is called the prime meridian. The main longitude, the prime meridian we say, So we need longitude also to fix the location of a place, and it is also measured in degree, which is marked as 68 degrees 7 east and 97 degree 25 east from west to east. So these are the these are the geographical divisions, geographical locations of India. We say geographical locations of India. Geographical location means north. India's north part is the Himalayas, and surrounded by sea. India is surrounded by sea on all the three sides. East side Bay of Bengal, west Arabian Sea, south is Indian Ocean. Then we saw about latitudes, longitudes and equator. So globe is the model of earth. There we can see the middle line which is passing through the center, it is equator, and parallels are latitudes, and the lines that are meet at poles are longitudes. These latitudes, longitudes or equator are very important for us to find out which is the location of a place in a globe. Tropic of Cancer is an important latitude. So this much you just wanted to know. The higher you will learn more about this in higher classes, about equator, latitude, longitude, Tropic of Cancer. About this in detail you will learn in the higher classes. Now you just should have a knowledge about this India map, where northern part is Himalayas and the west part we can see, east part we can see Bay of Bengal, west is Arabian Sea and south is Indian Ocean. And equator divides the earth into two halves, northern part, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Latitudes are parallels to the equator, and longitudes are they are not parallels, they meet at poles, or we say they are semicircles, half circles meeting at the poles. Latitudes, longitudes, equator are important to fix the location of a place in a globe. So this much information you need now. The detailed part you will learn in the higher classes. That is about the geographical divisions of India. Then we learned about India's neighbors. India shares its border with 7 countries. Which are the 7 countries? Afghanistan, Pakistan, then China, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, these Myanmar. They are the 7 neighboring countries of India. 7 neighboring countries of India. Just learn these names of these 7 countries sharing the border with India. 7 neighboring countries: Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Bhutan, Nepal, Myanmar and Bangladesh. Then Sri Lanka and Maldives here. Sri Lanka and Maldives are here, and Sri Lanka is separated from India by Park Strait, we say. This is the place which divides Sri Lanka and India. Sri Lanka is separated from India by Park Strait. Then we learned about our country, India's physical features, means Himalayas, oceans, rivers, lakes, plateaus, plains, about this. So physical division, first one is Himalayan mountains. So it is divided into 3 main ranges, we say. The first one is Great Himadri, second is Middle Himalaya, and third is Shivalik range. They are Himalayas you can see in the northern part, somewhere here. This is the northern part. Here we can see these Himalayas. Then northern Indian plains. It lies south of the Himalayas. Just below we can see the northern plains. The northern plains are the level is how generally they are level and flat. Plain land they are. Mostly flat and have fertile soil where people lives. Then Great Indian Desert. Desert we can see in the western part of India here. Desert, it's hot and dry place, no vegetation over there because of no rainfall. Desert we can see in this part, western part. Then Peninsular Plateau or Deccan Plateau. Plateau is a tableland we say. So plateau is located between 2 mountain ranges, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats we say. Here we can see the Deccan Plateau, and somewhere around here when we see the Deccan Plateau, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, that map There we can see Deccan Plateau in a triangular region. It is in triangular shape we say. Many hills and valleys we can find there. Then Vindhyas and Satpuras, they are the another important ranges, and main rivers flowing through these ranges are Narmada and Tapti river. They flow from the to western part of India, and it flows to drain into Arabian Sea actually. Then we learned about coastal plains, because India is surrounded by seas on all the three sides, like east part Bay of Bengal, west part Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean here. India has a long coastal line we say, long coastal line. Then all of them they merge here, where Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats meet at Indian Ocean here on the south. Then island is what? It is an area of land surrounded by water on all parts. A land surrounded by water, that is island actually. Two group of island, main island we learned is Lakshadweep Island here. Lakshadweep Island located in the Arabian Sea, and Andaman and Nicobar Island in the mainland of Bay of Bengal. These are the two main islands, two group of islands, Lakshadweep Island in the Arabian Sea and Andaman and Nicobar Island in the mainland of Bay of Bengal. So these are the physical divisions of India. About Himalayas we learned, northern plains we learned, then desert, then Deccan Plateau, Vindhya and Satpura range, coastal plains and islands. These are the physical divisions of our country India. Then we learned about the rivers flowing through Himalaya, isn't it? Rivers of India. So the major rivers of India, it have main three sources. First one is Himalaya, then Vindhya and Satpura, then Sahyadri. So India's rivers originate from these three watersheds, from Himalayas, then Vindhya and Satpura range, then from Western Ghats. So Indian rivers originate from these three main watersheds. And Himalaya, you know, the top of the Himalaya covered with snow, full of snow. So they are snow-fed rivers we say. Throughout the year there is a continuous flow, because snow melts, water flows and join into the sea. But Vindhya and Satpura, then Western Ghats or Sahyadri, Western India, these two watersheds, it depends on monsoon. When there is rain, then only this river flows and they drain into the main sea. Otherwise in dry season they form rivulets we say, a small stream of water. So Himalayan rivers or northern rivers, because Himalaya lies in the northern part, so they are called northern rivers also. So there are many rivers that flowing into Pakistan. Then we learned about river Ganga, and which river Ganga, it flows and it meets here, where in Bangladesh, it drains into Bangladesh. It flows in the southeast direction. This is the southeast direction, and it joins here in Bangladesh. Then Yamuna and Gomti river, it is in western Himalaya, it joins Ganga, then finally it joined here, okay. Then Brahmaputra, Brahmaputra is another tributary. Tributary means a river flowing into larger river. Brahmaputra is another tributary of Ganga river. It originates in Tibet, here it originates. Then it joins later to Arunachal Pradesh. From there, what happens? Again it flows westward and join to Ganga in Bangladesh. So wherever rivers are there, they all finally meets where? To river Ganga only, isn't it? Yes. Then Chambal is another tributary river, the river of Ganga, and it originates from Vindhya and Satpura range. From that range it originates. So we learned about rivers also. So the Indian rivers or rivers of India originate from three main watersheds. One is Himalaya, second is Vindhya and Satpura range, third is Western Ghats or Sahyadri we say. These Himalayan rivers, they are snow-fed rivers, because you know top of Himalayas are covered with snow. So they are snow-fed rivers. Throughout the year we can see the continued flow of water, and they join into the rivers, main rivers. But this Vindhya and Satpura range in central India, Sahyadri or Western Ghat in Western India, these two watersheds, they depends upon seasons, means monsoon seasons. So in dry season, they form rivulet, means small stream of water. So there are many rivers flowing through many parts of India. Some rivers flowing through to the Pakistan, some rivers are there which flows westwards, some rivers flows eastwards. Okay, so the river Ganga, it originates at Gangotri Glacier in Uttaranchal. So river Ganga, it originates in Uttaranchal, and where it flows, children? It flows and drained into finally to Bangladesh here. River Ganga flows and drains into Bangladesh. Along with this, another rivers are the Yamuna, Gomti. They also join Ganga. Then Brahmaputra is another tributary river, means small river which join to the larger river, that is tributary. So Brahmaputra also, it originates in Tibet and it flows to the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Then finally it joins to Bangladesh. So all the river finally it merge where here, where Ganga is. Yes, Chambal is another tributary of Ganga. It originates from Vindhya Satpura range. This river flow eastward. This river flows eastward direction, and now westward flowing rivers are there, like Narmada and Tapti. These rivers flows to westward. Then it joins to Arabian Sea in Gujarat. Arabian Sea in the west part. So Narmada and Tapti are the river flowing to the westward. It drain to Arabian Sea. So the river network, the total river or the flow from east to west, total constitute is 10%. So these are the east flowing rivers, east to west. Now in Western Ghats are source of Deccan rivers. All the rivers of Deccan we can find here. So these major rivers all they drained into were Bay of Bengal from west to east. First we learned about the rivers flowing from east to west, draining into Arabian Sea. Now there are Western Ghats rivers, or we say the source of these rivers are Deccan rivers. Major rivers in Deccan Plateau, Deccan region, they flows and they drain into Bay of Bengal. And these rivers constitute 20% of India's total flow. That is about rivers. Then we learned about political and administrative divisions. As I said, India is a country of larger area. For administrative purpose, to rule the country or rule different states, areas, India is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories. 28 states are ruled by state government, and union territories are ruled, they have the control by central government of India. So India is officially known as Republic of India. And we have seen about major zones, 6 major zones of India. East India here, then West India, then North India, South India, and last is Northeast and Central India. These are the 6 major zones of India. And all these major zones we can see different states are there. Eastern India, the main states are Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, with union territory Andaman and Nicobar. And the languages speaking here in West Bengal is Bengali, and Odisha and Jharkhand they speak, the main language are Odia and Hindi. There are some other languages also they are speaking. Then Western region, Eastern India states include these states: Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal. Now Western states include Goa, Gujarat, Goa, Maharashtra, with union territory Daman and Diu and Nagar Haveli. So financial capital of India is Mumbai. It is the capital of Maharashtra also. And here the language spoken is Marathi, Gujarati, then Konkani and English. These are the languages spoken by the western part of India people. People living in western part of India, they speak Marathi, Gujarati, Konkani and English. Then northern India, there are states in north part of India. The states of North India are Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana with Union Territory Delhi. Delhi is the national capital territory we say, and Chandigarh. And then southern India, southern parts of India means Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And here the main thing we learned is Silicon Valley of India. Silicon Valley of India is Bengaluru. It's the capital of Karnataka. It is known as Silicon Valley of India. Why? Because it is India's leading exporter in IT sector, information technology, mainly based on computer, internet, etc. So, Bengaluru or Karnataka is the state where it is a leading exporter, we say, in IT sector, in IT field, ranking the first position, we say. Then we learned about Northeast India. Northeast India, there are 7 sister states here. They are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur and Nagaland. Here, this is the 7 sister states. Northeast India has 7 sister states. Then we learned about central zone of India. Central zone mainly is Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. These are central zone of India. Then coming to the 8 union territories and capitals. We learned about 8 union territories of India with the capitals. So these are the main things we learned in the lesson. Words to remember. Mud flat means coastal wetland that form when mud is deposited by tides or rivers. Some coastal wetland area will form when heavy rains and when heavy rains are there. What happens? It wash away all this. They wash many things, sediments or rivers, many things they wash, and what happens, that area will become a wetland with mud. So that is mud flats, coastal wetland we say. Hydrographic chart means it includes ocean, rivers and all I told, isn't it? A navigation chart showing depth of water, nature of bottom, contours of bottom means it represents an outline of the bottom, coastline, tides and currents in given sea or land area. Sea area, land area, it represents everything. Navigation chart, it shows the depth of the water, how much water, the depth, nature of bottom, everything, coastline, tides and everything it represents. This hydrographic chart, it includes more oceans, rivers, seas, lakes and all. Depth and nature of water it shows, nature of bottom, contour of bottom and coastal line they show. That is hydrographic chart. Now brush up. Let's recall. India shares its border with 7 countries. India has 7 neighbors, isn't it? Shares its border with 7 countries. Which are the 7 countries? 7 countries which India shares its borders. Afghanistan, Pakistan, then China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh. These are the 7 neighboring countries of India. Then it is the second populated country in the world. In the world, India is the second population is more in India. First China, second India. Third, Northeast India includes 7 sister states. The country's coastline measures that already we see, isn't it? India is surrounded by seas on all the 3 sides. That's why India has a long coastline. Coastline measures 7,517 kilometers in length it is, out of which distance of 5,423 kilometers belongs to peninsular India. The land mass covered by coconut palms and sand beaches, and 2,094 kilometers belongs to Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep Island, the 2 main groups of islands in India. Yes children, so we completed the lesson now. Now you just go through the lesson. You just read about this lesson, our country India. You in front of a map, you take a map, then you read the lesson and you see which are these countries are located in the Indian map. Just go through the lesson once or twice, you can read. If you read the lesson, then it will be easy for you to do the exercises in the workbook. So just read the lesson. Okay children?